Welcome back to G.A.M.E.R Night. I'm your host, G.A.M.E.R here, and today, welcome to another brand new review. We're going to be talking about Starfield today. Now, this is a review that's been in the making for years and years and years. You already know because of the type of game that Starfield is and just what Starfield was for Xbox gamers, for just gamers in general. So, this is definitely a big review for sure. One thing I will point out real quick, you might be seeing me wearing a lot more hats here because well, my hair is a type of hair that it looks stupid unless you like put gel and like fix it up every morning, and some mornings I just don't feel like doing that, and so I decided to put on a hat today, and I actually don't mind the way it looks. I think it's kind of fire. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about Starfield. Sorry, completely random thing, but you know, I just had to throw it out there because, you know. But yeah, so Starfield. So we're gonna talk about its review, and I finally finished it like over 2 months after the game came out. So, you know, that might tell you something. It might tell you something else. We'll kind of get into all that, and but let me go ahead and say, number one, because of what this game is, I have to preference. I have all three consoles, all right, Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. I love all three equally. However, I would consider myself an Xbox guy. Okay, I would defend Xbox to my dying days. But truly, I love all three games equally and all three platforms equally, and I play them all just as much as the other. So yeah, with that out the way, yeah, Starfield. So this game was my most anticipated game of the year. It was my most anticipated game ever since 2019, I would say. Since 2020, 2019, it was my most anticipated game. I would say I've never been more anticipated, or I've never anticipated a game more than Starfield. It is like my most anticipated game ever of all time. And, you know, I'll just go and rip the Band-Aid off. It didn't meet my expectations. It didn't. But here's what I'll say. Again, I'm kind of just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. I think it's a good game. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a good game. I think there are a lot of positives about it. I think it does a lot of things really well. But I think there are a lot of issues and a lot of things that I personally did not like about the game. And so that's kind of what we're going to get on to. I decided for this review, I'm kind of just going to go off the top of my dome. I don't have like a script. I don't have bullet points. I don't have any of that. I'm just kind of just going off the dome because I just finished it last night. And okay, let's go ahead and start out with the positives. Number one, I think all the different things you are able to do in the game is absolutely incredible. All the different ship building and ship hiring crew and designing your ship, upgrading your ship, I think all that's great. Building outposts, hiring crew to go to those outposts, I think is great. I think the combat is so much improved. We're gonna get to the combat later. I think the amount of different quests and factions that you're able to join is just absolutely fantastic. I think a lot of the planets are interesting. However, some of them not so much, and it's kind of tricky because of the type of game it is again. But I think the amount of different things in the game and the amount of things that you're able to do is just absolutely fantastic. I think it's just incredible what they were able to do and put so much stuff into this game to a point where it's kind of overwhelming, where they have to, you know, spend the first 5 hours of the game basically in a really long tutorial. So, you know, take that what you will. I really do like the game, but my favorite thing personally, and this is what I'll say, I think this is the best Bethesda combat we've ever gotten. Personally, I think the gunplay is so far improved over Fallout. It's not even funny. I think I think the powers that you get throughout the game is really, really cool. Like the whole anti-gravity field and everything like that. That's awesome. I think that's really, really cool. The ship combat it's hit or miss. I like what they're going for. I like how you can switch all your different statistics on like the shield, grav drive, missiles, you know, lasers, all that stuff. I like how you're able to do that. I think that's really cool. Engine, you get the point. I think that's really cool. But I don't know. I think, well, ship flying is a whole problem for me, actually, which is really sad because I love ship flying. But yeah, and then I will say, I think the story is interesting. I don't think the story is phenomenal, per se. I don't think it's like a great story. I think it does what it needs to. I think it's just an interesting story to kind of kick you off in the game. There's so much more to this game than just the main story. I think everybody is well aware of that now. So just know, if you're only playing for the main story, you're going to be very underwhelmed. And I did not. I did plenty of side quests as well. I didn't do like every side quest because, quite frankly, I'm not sure I enjoyed the game enough to do that. But I think the main quest serves the game fairly well. It's an interesting plot. There's some very cool moments. There's some really fun missions to do there. I think the main antagonists are kind of cool, but kind of not super developed. So I think the main story is solid. It's okay. I really do love all the characters that we get to meet. Like, of course, Sarah Morgan. Oh God, what's the cowboy's name? God, I can't even think of his name right now. I think Barrett, his whole thing was kind of sad. I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of sad. Andrea, I think is her name. I really enjoyed her character. I thought her mission where she was introduced was really, really great. But yeah, overall, pretty solid story. Visually, again, I think it's one of the best Bethesda games we have, if not the best. Actually, I will say it's probably the best looking Bethesda game that we have. But I don't think that comes as a shock because, number one, it's newer, and number two, it's in space. I feel like that has way more opportunity to be cool looking. But that's just me. And then I will say the music is really, really great. I actually really do enjoy the score and soundtrack in this game. I think it does a really, really good job. I really like the main theme. Of course, if you want to include it, Imagine Dragons did do the Children of the Sky song. I think that was a really cool song. I've listened to that song a lot. I've been listening to that song ever since. So really, really solid stuff. But I think the music helps in the combat, and the exploration, and the ship flying, and the fast travel. All that stuff is absolutely great. But let's go ahead and get into the negatives here. And I actually have a lot. Starting off with, I think this game's biggest problem, and that is I didn't quite get a immersive experience out of this game. I think that's the biggest issue. When this game, leading up to this game, I was so ready to just be immersed in space and feel like I was truly traveling all these galaxies. And due to so many loading screens, due to so much fast traveling, and due to not that interesting of things to explore, I didn't really feel immersed really at all. Oh my God, I didn't really feel immersed at all. It really did feel like just going from point A to point B, doing something and then leaving. Again, that might just be the way I played, but personally, I didn't really find very many of the planets all that interesting to explore. I think they all looked interesting. I don't think they visually were like super like just garbage looking planets. Like, I mean, some of them are literally garbage planets, but no, like I don't think like the whole procedural generated planets were the downfall. I just think it didn't make me want to explore them. They're really cool to look at. I built some outposts at some of them. I think some of them are really, really cool looking. But none of them made me like just want to stay on the planet and go explore. And that's kind of a problem, because then I just felt like I was going from point A to point B over and over again, doing this side quest, which I really do enjoy the quest. I think the quest is really great due to its amazing combat, in my opinion. Actually, something else I really enjoyed real quick. I really like the little puzzle system that they have in here. The dig pick. I know that sounds terrible, but that's what it's called. Dig pick. All right. Right? That is what it's called. I think so. Okay. Oh god. But anyway, yeah, it's like like a lock thing where you have to unlock it with like these circles and you have to match up the little spaces. I really do enjoy that. I think that's a really cool puzzle. But yeah, the immersion was just not there for me. All the loading screens is actually very upsetting. I mean, I get it. It's a huge game. You need loading screens, but you do not need that many. There were parts where you're just like, why was there even a cutscene here? Or not a cutscene, a loading screen. It just was not doing it for me. Also, the whole dialogue, unfortunately, it's getting quite old with Bethesda games. The standing still, staring into somebody's face, and them just not moving and talking. It kind of got old, and yeah, we need something different than that for sure. You know, I don't know what that is, to be honest with you, but it's been the same exact formula for ever with Bethesda games. And I feel like that's just an overarching problem with this game entirely, is the same Bethesda formula that we've gotten over and over again, except this time I feel like it's almost less engaging this time around because of the lack of immersion. When I was in Fallout, I felt immersed. When I was in Skyrim, I felt immersed. In this one, I did not. I truly just felt like I was playing a game. And that's not what I want to see from a game that, unfortunately, I was super duper excited for. Now, I know I'm saying all these negatives. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoyed my time with the game. I'm really glad I played it. I do think it's a really good game. I don't think it's a bad game, per se. But definitely did not live up to the quote-unquote game of the generation title that it was given before the game came out. I definitely don't think it was that. And, you know, I don't know, it's really tricky because talking about Xbox games is always tricky because of all the controversy and drama that goes on behind Xbox and all that stuff. All the fan base is just going crazy over it. But here's what I'll say. Starfield delivered on what it was supposed to, in my opinion. Okay? Disregarding all quality of the game itself, disregarding, you know, how much I personally enjoyed it, there are lots of people who loved it. There are people who hated it. And there were people who just thought it was okay or good. And that's me. That's my boat. I think it's just a good game. Simple as that. It doesn't have to be game of the year. It doesn't have to be game of the generation. We shouldn't be having this conversation about every single game that comes out. It's just a great game. Boom. Period. General. Done. Okay? But here's what I will say. No matter what you think of the quality of the game, number one, three things here. Number one, it is an absolutely huge success for Xbox. It is one of their quickest growing game, or it was one of their quickest launches, like their fastest growing launches. It has over 10 million players already. Might even be like over 13 million, I think the last time I saw it. It's like over 13 million players. And it has probably gained them so many Game Pass subscribers. It has kept engagement 2 months into its life cycle. It has brought in probably a bunch of new Xbox users. It has probably sold so many copies, right? And overall, generally, the game was well received and has been a success. There is no denying that. Whether you like the game or not, there is just no denying it. Numbers and statistics are facts, and the facts show it. So whether you like the game or not, it is a huge success. Number two, I think this helps Xbox as a brand and as their momentum, because as you know, this, Xbox has been rough for a long time. Last year was horrendous. 2022 was horrendous. There were like no first party releases, barely, except for like Pentiment, and that's it pretty much. Almost no one played that game. And 2021, we had some great games like Psychonauts 2, Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5, but the first half of that year was completely dry. And this year was really good. I think this year was a very, very strong year for Xbox. If we look at their year, we have Hi-Fi Rush, we have Redfall, which unfortunately did what was a failure, but every company is going to have some failures. I'm not defending them at all. That should not have happened. Redfall should be so much better, and it's just not. They released Minecraft Legends, which was received pretty well. They released, what else did they release? They released Forza Motorsports here in October, which was received very well. It's Forza Motorsport. It's just great. They released Starfield, of course, which has been an overwhelming amount of success. They have acquired Activision Blizzard finally, so technically Diablo 4 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Crash Team Rumble can all be added to that list of releases this year, which is really, really great. And overall, they also like shadow dropped a bunch of like remasters and stuff, like Age of Empires 2 and 4 both came to console, I'm pretty sure. And then Quake 2 remastered, I believe, or Quake 1 remastered came out. That was really awesome. And then they just announced a Killer Instinct Anniversary Edition, right? Or is it Definitive? No, I think it's Anniversary Edition, which I'm super excited for that. So overall, Xbox had a really, really great year. Yes, they had Redfall, but they had some great games like Hi-Fi Rush and Starfield and Forza Motorsport to kind of make up for that. And that's way more than any of their other years so far. So I think Xbox definitely had a great year, and Starfield was a big part of that and really helps with their momentum, especially leading into 2024, which looks stellar for them. 2024 is going to be one of the best years of Xbox we've had in so long. I am so excited. Hellblade 2 and Avowed are at the top of those lists. Who knows what else we're going to get, but both of those games look very, very promising. Super duper excited for that. And then the third thing of why Starfield is great, in my opinion, is no matter what you think of the game, like I just said, it was my most anticipated game ever. What Starfield has done for me personally has captured my love for gaming. I've never enjoyed keeping up with a game leading up to launch for years on end, looking at every trailer, looking at every leak, looking at every rumor, every concept art. The lead up to this game was something just different. It was something so spectacular because this was the biggest Xbox game to release in so long, maybe since Halo 3, guys. Like, this game has just been absolutely massive. It is so impactful for so many people, especially within the Xbox brand, myself included. And it was so exciting. Every event when we knew we were gonna see more Starfield, it was just so hype. And you know, no matter what we think of the game, I think the game is just good. But the experiences and the impact and the meaning and the lead up and the anticipation and all the feelings that it's given me, even outside of the game, like Children of the Sky, like this poster I have hanging behind me of Starfield. You guys can't see it. All of it's great. Starfield did exactly what it was supposed to. It was supposed to be a great game for Xbox players, which it is. And it delivered so much momentum for Xbox. It was a huge success for Xbox and delivered excitement towards the Xbox brand. And it delivered exactly what it should have, in my opinion, regardless of all the flaws and critiques that I have about the game. I think it delivered. I think it delivered to an acceptable level. It delivered to an acceptable level. And I will say, delivered to an acceptable level, the bugs were great. For a Bethesda game, okay, the bugs were incredible. Like, there were no huge glitches, there were no huge bugs that I ever ran into. Just some, like, stuttering and some, you know, wacky, like, weird, like, spazzes at times, but that's really it. But yeah, a little bit more about the game. I know I'm kind of like jumping all over the place with this. A little bit more about the game. There were a lot of like structurally things that I wasn't a huge fan of, like the whole final battle with the two like starborn ships. I thought that was kind of weird. I thought we were gonna go on the planet and actually fight. No, it's just a dogfight, which I'm not a big fan of flying. I think flying is kind of useless in the game, to be honest with you. You're barely ever flying unless you're fast traveling, and the dogfighting is kind of boring. That's just my opinion, though. I really do like the inventory system. I like the skill system. I like, just all of that. I mean, yeah, I really like that. I like the character customization. Creating your character, I think, is really, really great. All your classic Bethesda stuff. So overall, I think it's a great game. I've really struggled on giving this game a score because I actually have like three possible scores that I could give it. I could give it, in my opinion, I'm sitting between a 7 and an 8. I'm sitting between a 7 and an 8. So I think we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna clock this game in right in between at a 7.5. I think that's a really solid score for me, personally. I think it's a great game that delivered on a lot of great things. So we're going with 7.5, and that is not a bad score by any means, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, not every game has to be 9 or above. Okay, 7.5 is still a great score. But yeah, that's gonna do it for my review. Thank y'all so much for watching. I know if you're an Xbox fan, Xbox fanboy, you're gonna hate on me, and that's okay, because at the end of the day, even though Xbox is my brand and platform of choice, doesn't mean everything has to be 10 out of 10 from them. This is not how things work. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, definitely leave a like, leave a comment in the section down below provided, and please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. G.A.M.E.R out. Peace.